Jambo from Kenya, and this is story time again. And the storyline today is about a lioness that adopted an oryx calf. This happened some years ago, and we drove one day with a group of guests from Nairobi. We stopped in a place called Nanyuki by the equator for lunch at the Trout Tree restaurant for fresh trouts. Then later in the afternoon we drove up towards Samburu, and we checked into the park about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There was not much time to do any game drive en route to the camp. So we decided to go straight to our camp, which was the Samburu Intrepid camp, which is far to the other end of the camp, of the park. We checked in, we had our dinner about 8 o'clock, and we agreed that the following day we were supposed to wake up early so that we could start our game drives at 6:30 in the morning. So as agreed, the following day everybody was by the parking area about 6:15. We loaded the camera gears because our guests were photographers. And at 6:30 the wheels were rolling. We were, I think it was 4 jeeps, about 12 clients. Remember, it is 3 guests in a car for photography. And as we were leaving, just before we left the camp, another guide who was in the area for a few days before we got there gave us a hint that there was this very rare, incredible sighting of a lioness with an oryx calf. An oryx is one of the antelopes we find in Samburu. In fact, it's on the list of the Special 5 of Samburu. We could not believe it. And this was on Valentine's Day. I cannot remember that one. So we went on our game drive searching for this rare sighting. And after like an hour or so, we got another hint of where the lioness had been seen. And we drove up there. There's a lot of bushes in Samburu. It's not as open as the Mara. This is a savanna bushland, lots of acacia bushes and trees. But luckily enough, we found the baby oryx hidden in a bush, and she was alone. Mommy was not there. Lioness was not there. She was just alone there. And we decided to wait and see whether the lioness would come. And after some time, we saw a lioness a long way coming with a kill. She had killed a baby Grant's gazelle, and she came carrying it all the way to the base of the bush where the baby oryx was hiding. When she got there, she dropped the kill, she went right to the baby oryx, and she started licking the ears of this young one, just like she would do to her own cubs. We could not believe what we were seeing, because the oryx baby is supposed to be a dessert, a delicacy to this lioness, but she is treating her like her own cub. They kept boarding. They were boarding. The young one, the young oryx, was reciprocating. She did the same. She would lick the lions, by the belly, but she was still too young to survive on grass. So what happened? She could smell the mommy that was a long way away. And every time she started to go towards the mommy oryx, the lioness would follow her side by side. And when the mommy saw the lioness, she would take off. She would not wait. She would take off. Then they went back to the same bush. and they stayed together like mommy and baby. This went on, and we could not understand what was happening. People came with different hypotheses why this was happening. Some said that maybe this lioness had some cubs that maybe died at a tender age, or maybe she wanted the cubs and she never conceived, and that mother instinct led her to adopting an oryx calf. People, photographers, BBC, National Geographic, people flew from all over the world to come and see this sighting. So what happened, after some time, she had eaten the baby Grant's gazelle, and in 3 days she needed to eat again. She left the baby oryx hiding in the bush, and she went down looking for a kill. She saw some warthogs, the puma, but the pumbas were too fast because they saw the lioness coming from a long way and they disappeared. And as she was coming back with no success, she found that there were these pair of cheetahs. There was a pair, two brothers cheetah, that were planning, and they were smelling the baby oryx hidden. And she came straight and pushed these other cats away, and she moved the oryx from that bush to another bush somewhere, more hidden place near the river. And she left the young one there, and she kept on her mission to look for food, because this time the baby is hungry. I'm talking about now the third day. The baby is hungry because she is not getting access to the mother's milk. She is not able to graze, and the lion also has no time because she is spending too much time protecting the young one and not trying to hunt. And she decided, instead of dying, let me go try something. And she went out and she got a baby puma, which she ate at the spot. The rangers were following this unfolding, and they decided to separate the two because the mommy lioness was growing weaker by day because she was not eating as she was supposed to. And the younger oryx also was in danger because she was starving, and eventually she was going to die if nothing was done. So they intervened with the help of Kenya Wildlife Service. They came in, they darted the lioness, and they darted the young baby oryx, and they separated the two. They took the baby oryx to Nairobi into an animal orphanage where she could be fed and treated. The lioness was left in Samburu, but that did not deter the lioness from adopting another oryx calf. After like 3 weeks, she did the same. She adopted an oryx calf and she raised that one. She was a little bit older, so she could graze a little bit. But one day, when she went hunting and thought that the young oryx was safe enough, that was the mistake of her life. Because when she was away, members of another pride of lions were on a hunting mission, and they found this baby oryx. And they went for her. There was no chance of escaping death for this baby one. The lions surrounded the young one and they killed her and made her their meal for the day. I looked way out, and the lioness, her name was Kamniak. She was given the name Kamniak by the Samburu people, and it means the blessed one. So Kamniak was coming to look for her baby, only to find a pride of lions feasting on this poor baby. They all had blood stains on their faces. They were happy because the younger ones was tender, maybe sweeter. She sat down. She was hungry. She was starving. She didn't get even a bite out of this baby, because to her, this was her own baby. She just looked there with very, very sad eyes. You could almost see tears dropping down on her face. She did not touch it. This happened in Samburu National Park, which is in the northern part of Kenya. And up to today, nobody exactly knows why this happened. Nature has got a lot of surprises. And that is why we need to keep traveling. You do not have to come to Kenya or go on safari once and say that you have seen it all. I have done it so many times. And every time I go on safari, every time I go on a game drive, even if you follow the same track every day, you could see the same animals, but they would be behaving differently. So if you're planning, if you want to see what nature has to offer, please do not forget to keep this on your bucket list. And my dear viewers, continue subscribing, liking and hitting the share button so that we can keep tuned to this channel and spread this gospel. See you next time. Thank you.